Hello guys, I'm about to start taking you through this Microsoft Word tutorial that we spoke about in class or in the Zoom session. The first thing I need to show you is where to get the file that we are going to use in this tutorial. It is a word processing tutorial, but I'm not going to ask you to type all the text out, it'll be quite laborious. So this tutorial is going to start from just a block of text. It's on the history of computing. I've put it onto the My City page for Information Technology Application Software 1 class. The file is here. It's called the History of Computing Hardware, and if you download that and double click on it, it should open up in Microsoft Word. Let me just have a look and see where the file is. I've got it here already. I'll just share it. This one. So it is just a block of text, loads of headings, history of hardware. If I look down the bottom left, I'm on page 4 of 7, it tells you this is 7 pages. It may end up about 10 pages once we add like a title page to it, table of contents, indexed. So first thing first, zooming in and out of this page, down the bottom left hand corner I can grab this little magnifying tool and I can zoom in and out. It zooms in and out of the page. I find it easier just to hold the control key in the keyboard, bottom left hand corner, CTRL, and while I'm holding that I can roll the wheel on my mouse and zoom out and in. So there's my 7 pages here. Excuse me. So first things first, I'm going to put a new page above page 1 so that we can put our name and class and a graphic on it. A graphic that will suit the history of computing hardware. So a couple of ways I can put a new page in a document. I can click at the start here because that's where I want the new page to insert, i.e. everything in front of this flashing line, which is called the insertion point, where things get inserted. If I insert a page break here, it's going to push everything else down and give me a blank page above. Now I can go to insert and I can insert a page break from here, but I think the quick key, if I go here, pages, page break, so insert pages, page break. You may see page break on your toolbar, but my old eyes, I've got a larger font set on my computer at home, so it kind of makes small menus out of things. But you may well see page break on your main ribbon toolbar at the top. But I like to use quick keys, so if I hold down the control key, then press return or enter, I'll now have a page blank at the top. That's now my page 1. And this is now my second page. If you look down here on the bottom left, it says page 2. So what do I want on a title page? Well, generally I would like your name, your class, today's date. So let me just copy and paste that from another document and then go back here, and in here somewhere, your name, your class, and the history of computing hardware. That's kind of a heading of this piece of work, so I'm going to make that bigger. If I click on the Home tab up here, I can highlight this. Now that's one way of highlighting it. I just drag the mouse over it, but I know from years of using Microsoft Word, I can double click to select a word, or I can treble click to select a line or a paragraph. So treble click and I've selected this heading. I'm just going to make it something quite big. Engravers, I quite like that font, and I don't want it to wrap, so yeah, that'll do me. And I'll change the colour of it. So up here is the style of the font, and next to it the number is the size of the font in points. Size of the font in points, I should have said. And this colour palette, the A is the colour of the text, the font colour, so I'll make it red. Right, next thing, I'm going to look for a graphic for this. Now you guys can jump into Google and type in a computing hardware graphic, find whatever you want. I've got a picture saved already that I got from the internet earlier on, and I'll show you how I can insert that. If I just go to the insert menu and then select picture or pictures, in my folder here I've got this computer picture and I'll insert that. Right, it's put it not where I want. Basically what happened there, my insertion point was here at the end of the word hardware, so it's inserted the picture below. There's no space really been created in this new page below, so it's thrown it down here. So what do I want to do with this image? The first thing I want to do is be able to move it about. At the minute, if I try and drag that, it won't let me. It only kind of lets me put it in the middle of the text, or I can drag it to left, right or centre. So I want to be able to move it anywhere. So I'm going to wrap the text around the image, and that allows me to move the image about the page. If I right click on the picture and go to wrap text, I'll select square at the minute, which means the text should flow in a square around the image. Back up the top. And now you'll see that I can move this image about the page, and anywhere that I insert it into some text, it will try and make a square of that text, one of these edges around this image. If I was to drag it down into the next page, you'll see what I mean by the text moving round about the image. See? It's like a newspaper. It will try and fit it in where it can, and it will try and wrap the text as best it can around the image. But we want it in page 1. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can just see the size of this, not that much, and make this a bit bigger. All I'm doing is these little grab handles allow me to grab it. The circle at the top allows me to rotate if I wanted. I don't, if I wanted to. So I'm quite happy with that as my front cover. Name and class, today's date, heading, and a graphic. Right, so what do I want to do next? I've actually given myself a wee list of instructions here. So make the whole body text size 12 point Arial. Well, what I mean by body text is all the text that's left that's not headings, etc. So back into this document again and highlight everything. Now I could do Control A to highlight everything, but that would also highlight the front page text, which was the heading that I made, and then when I made it to 12 point Arial, it would convert all the text plus the heading back. So that's why I just dragged the mouse over the text this time, because I didn't want to change this back to 12 point Arial. And now in here, select Arial. Where's Arial? There we are. Arial 12. So all the text now has been Arial sized as 12, and the font type is Arial. See it up here now, Arial 12. Now sometimes you could be grabbing information from the internet, and it can be various shapes and sizes and font styles and sizes and colours. So selecting all the text and making it all uniform to start makes life a bit easier. Next thing I think I'll start working on may be my table of contents. Just let me have a wee look. I may split it up first, and I'll fully justify the text as well. Let me explain what that means. If I look at this text here, I've got a straight left edge. See it straight down the left edge, and it's jagged at the right hand side. That tells me it's left aligned. Let me show you. If I select this paragraph, maybe not that one, this one's a bit better. Be able to emphasise more what I'm talking about. The left hand side of this is straight, and the right hand side is what we call jagged edge. That's because it's left aligned, and if you look up top it will show you what one's highlighted. There's left aligned. This one's centre, which gives you jagged edge both sides. You'd normally see that in like a menu in a restaurant or something. Right aligned means you have a straight right edge, jagged left edge, usually for addresses at the top right hand corner of a letter. And then the way you buy a book normally, it's fully justified, and it tries to give you straight edge both sides. It looks nice, but sometimes I think it puts spaces in between the words. If you look here, like the initial values, that's been kind of spaced out a bit to make it fit the page, but it does look nicer. So let's go ahead and make all of the text fully justified, or all of the body text so far fully justified. It's just a matter of highlighting it all and selecting full justification, justify. And now I've got straight edges both sides. Sorry, both sides. Thinking I'm in the house there. So, front page, graphic, text, Arial size 12, fully justified so far. So what do I want to do next? I want to add page breaks where I think it's relevant. and then make some headings, and then make a table of contents from those headings. So let's do that. So I'm going to scan the document and see anything that I think looks kind of blatant, like or a bad use of space. I'm not really seeing anything that bad where paragraphs or sections have been split up too badly. No, I think I'm going to leave that as is. I'm not going to insert any page breaks at the minute. I may do it after I put the headings and stuff in, but at the minute, no, nothing too blatant. So, heading styles. If you look at on the home tab, on this toolbar, this ribbon, we've got styles here: normal, no space, heading 1, heading 2, etc. And there's a few more in there. If I expand it, you'll see them all: subtitles, titles. We're going to be dealing with heading 1 for this exercise. Oh, did I just change some text there? Maybe not. We're going to be dealing with heading 1s for this table of contents. And what happens is this: you tell Microsoft Word what your headings are, then you tell it to insert a table of contents. It will grab all the headings that you have told it are headings and the page number they reside on, and it will insert them into a table of contents for you. So let me show you that. Highlight a heading. Now, I could do these one at a time. Click on it, click on heading 1 at the top here, like so. But it's a lot of clicking. So with the control key, I can treble click there, and I can hold down the control key now. And when I zoom, scroll the document, I can see the headings. Hold the control key, 1, 2, 3, treble click. And what that's doing is, it's multiple selecting. As long as I hold down the control key each time, treble click, hold down control, treble click. Anywhere I see a heading, here, analog computers, here. Also, working with a document with 6 or 7 pages, it will get you used to it or into the habit of working with larger documents and zooming in and out. You do that quite a lot when you're working with large documents. So I've got all my headings selected. I just need to click heading 1. So now, if I scroll down the document, you'll see all my headings have been selected style heading 1. This large blue font is how heading 1 has been selected or made up inside this version of Word. You can edit these heading styles to be what you want them to be. But I'm just going to leave it as is. It's a heading, isn't it? You know. What else do I want from a heading? It's colourful, it's big. So, next thing, I need to give myself a page for this table of contents. Now, normally a table of contents is page 2 of a report. You get your title page, and then the contents page is next. So again, I'm going to click here, put the insertion point at the start of the document or the start of the body text, and do Control Enter again. Control and Enter to insert another page. It's pushed this down a page. I've got a blank page here in the middle. As you can see, there's the start of the text. Here's my blank page I'm going to use for contents, and here is my title page. Now I'm just zooming out in and out by holding down the control key and zooming in and out with my mouse on my wheel on my mouse, should I say. So page 2, table of contents. Now, it's not put it on the page, so cut that out and double click at the top of the page here. Not double click at the very top, as you see that puts me into the header. Just underneath that, double click on the page, and no, Control Z, there's something happening here. Give me a wee second. Try again. Gremlins, I don't know. Right, so I've now got the heading ready for this table of contents, so I need to go and put it in, and we'll get it under the references section. Table of contents here, and it's just a matter of choosing one. Now if you look here, it's showing me contents and then heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Now the reason we made all the headings style heading 1, because they're all main headings, none of them are subheadings. You don't make the first heading heading 1, the second one heading 2, 3, etc. No, all of your main headings are heading 1. If you've got a subheading, you would make it style heading 2, and then when you drop the table in, it would indent it, like you can see here. And if you had a subheading, it would be a heading style 3. but all of our headings in this document are main headings. That's why I selected heading style 1 for them all. So, inserted, there is my table of contents. Now, if you add to your document, you can just click Update Table. As long as any headings you put in, you make them style heading 1, when you update the table, Word will add them to this table of contents. Yeah, straightforward. So, table of contents, never been easier. You tell it what the headings are, it'll do the rest for you. Right, what else can I do with this? Right, let's deal with a header and a footer next. So, the easy way to get into the header or the footer in a document is just double click at the top for the header, and I'm inside the header. In fact, let's put in City of Glasgow College, and we'll make that bold. Right, these keys here, guys, B, I and U, bold, italicise and underline. The control key, control B, puts bold on and off. I'm just tapping it while holding the control key. You'll see bold going on and off. Control I for italics, and control U for underline. So I'll make it bold and underlined, and I will centre it by clicking Centre Justify. And just to get out of the header, I just double click anywhere in the page. And now you'll see that every page as the header now has City of Glasgow College as a page header. Anything you type into the page header will be replicated on every page. Yeah. Right, and now let's do a footer. Now in the footer I want page numbers, and at the bottom we've now expanded now to 9 pages, as you can see, from 7, because we've got our title page and we've got our table of contents page as well. So in the footer, if I double click, I want to put page numbers, but I want it to say page 1 of 9, page 2 of 9, 3 of 9, etc. Now bearing in mind, a footer works the same way as a header. Anything I type will get replicated. So if I type page, that's going to replicate in every footer. The next number is going to change. If you think about it, when I say page 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, it's the first number, the 1, 2, 3 that changes. The of 10 part is going to stay the same all the time. So I'm going to insert a page number. Now my insertion point, that wee flashing line, is flashing next to the word page, exactly where I want this page number to appear. So if I go insert, where's page number? Here it's here. Now at the current position, I want this plain number. Page 3 is in here because I'm on page 3 down at the bottom. So that number is going to change, but this isn't going to change. And so far we've got 9 pages, so I'll put 9 in here. That may change when I add something else, maybe an index, and I'll change that. It'll just take a second. To get out of the footer, double click on the page again. Now if you look, 3 of 9, down at the bottom, page 4 of 9, 5 of 9. Now the page, the of, the 9, I typed that part. That's going to stay the same on every page. But this number, the number 5, that's the number it's going to change. That's why I inserted it as a page number, so that it would increment on each page. Yeah? Now, what else can we add to this document? Index. Yeah, I can show you how to make an index. That's a good idea. I'll make this the last thing, so I won't push this. Oh, there's my Alexis jumping in there. I'll make this the last thing, so that I'm not pushing this tutorial on too long. So at the very end of the document is where we put an index. The only thing that usually appears after an index is an endnote, and I don't think we'll cover endnotes in this class. So I'm placing the insertion point at the end of the document. That's the last piece of text, because I want a last page, and I'm going to press Control Enter, and that will give me a blank page under here. Now if you look, I've now got page 10 of 9. There's 10 pages now, so I'm just going to quickly double click in the footer and change that second number to 10, and double click to get back out of the footer. So now it says 10 of 10, and the one before will say 9 of 10. It all worked out. So an index, the way this works is similar to a table of contents. In the table of contents, you told Microsoft Word what your headings were, and then Microsoft Word continued to insert that into a table with you, and it grabbed the page numbers as well. This time we're going to tell it what the indexed entries are, what entries we want in an index, and we'll then tell it we want to insert an index, and it will grab the words and also the page numbers that they appear on. So first things first, I go to references, and where's index? Mark entry, here we go, index. Mark entry is going to bring up this little requester here. This little requester is different from the rest as in it allows you to access the document underneath and still scroll the document while it's there. Let me show you how it works. I'll mark 4 or 5 entries. You guys mark 10 entries, or a dozen. 10 will do. So I choose a word by clicking in the document and double click on a word. Then I click in main entry and it puts that word in there. At the bottom where it says mark and mark all, the difference between these is this. If I click mark, it will only mark the version of the word that's on this page. If I click mark all, it will mark every occurrence of that word throughout the document. Now that's the one that I want, because when you look at an index normally, you'll find a word and it will say this word's found on pages 7, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, so that's the kind of index I'm looking for. I want to see every occurrence of the word, every page that it appears on. Sorry, every page that it appears on. So mark all. You'll see this appearing in XE hardware. It means indexed entry hardware. It's a non-printable character. We can turn them off, but we'll leave them on while we're doing the index. So I'm going to carry on scrolling till I find analog. Double click to highlight the word. Click in main entry, mark all, find another word. I'll put in I'm clicking to access the document and then going to highlight John Napier, put him in, mark all, move on. Herman Hollerith. Select, click in main entry, mark all. I'll do another couple. Calculators. Select, click main entry, mark all. Right, that'll do me just now. I'll close that. I'm now going to go down to the last page and give it a heading that says index, and in the references tab, insert index. Now this here, the requester, it's asking me what way do I want my index. I want it to right align the page numbers because I want the page numbers over on the right hand side. This window here gives you a little example of what it will look like. The tab leader is the line that goes between the word and the number. You can choose, I don't know, over hyphens. Still looks the same to me. And format from template, I'm happy with that. If I OK this now, oh, I only want one column, sorry. If you've got a lot of words, maybe split it over 2 columns, but just one column in this case, and I'll OK that. And you'll see now that these are the words I selected and these are the pages that they appear on. Yeah, this non-printable characters that I was telling you about, the indexed entries and stuff, these and the paragraph markers, and you'll see that every space is a little dot. These are actually characters for a printer if it's going to print this document out, but you can usually turn them off. Here it's here, non-printable characters on the home tab. This icon, show hide, if I click that, these will all disappear. The document will look fine again. Yeah, there's my index at the end. Right, I would just like to stop this tutorial here. I'll tell you in class what Dropbox to use to drop your finished document into, or I may get you to email it to me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Goodbye.